Have you ever wondered what really goes on in someone's mind when you completely disappear from their life? Not just pulling back a bit, but vanishing entirely, like you never existed. Here's the harsh truth. They've gotten way too comfortable with you always being there. They think they can treat you however they want, and you'll stick around. You've given them the ease of knowing you're always available, always an option. But what happens when you finally decide you've had enough? Let's be honest, you've been holding on to them like they're essential, but have they ever treated you like you're essential? They've gotten too comfortable and started taking you for granted. That's where everything shifts, when you vanish. When you stop showing up, stop calling, and become nothing more than a memory, that's when it hits them. They feel the loss. Suddenly, the control they thought they had is gone, and they're left with nothing but doubts and regrets. Your absence forces them to confront a reality where your energy, presence, and attention are no longer theirs. And trust me, they'll feel it. It's more powerful than any argument or plea to make them see your worth. When you disappear, they don't just miss you, they crave you. That's the power of silence. It's the impact of stepping away when they least expect it. You become the mystery they can't solve, the void they can't fill, and in that space of uncertainty, it's not you losing sleep, it's them. Your constant availability made you predictable in their eyes. They thought they knew how to handle you, how to keep stringing you along. But when you walk away without warning, they're left with one terrifying question. What if I lost them for good? It's like the ground has been pulled out from under them. Their confidence is gone, their ego shattered. Now they're replaying every time they pushed you aside, assuming you'd always be there to pick up the pieces. But now, all they have is regret. As the saying goes, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. It's human nature to take things for granted, but that doesn't mean you need to stick around waiting for them to figure out your worth. Your value isn't something to be discovered only in your absence, but sometimes that's the only way they'll understand what they've lost. Imagine this. You've been trying to attract someone new, or maybe the spark in your relationship has faded. You've given your time, energy, and attention, but it feels like they're treating you as an afterthought. It hurts, right? But the hard truth is, they've grown comfortable in the idea that you'll always be there, doing all the work. That's when you flip the script. Picture pulling back, cutting off that endless supply of attention. They wake up one day, and you're gone. No more calls, no more texts, no more catering to their needs. That's when they realize how much you were giving. Suddenly, they're scrambling, wondering what happened. For the first time, they feel what it's like to miss you. You hold the power now. So here's my challenge to you. Step away. Let them feel the cold reality of life without you. And when they start reaching out, you'll know for sure you are the one in control. Now, let's dive into the 9 things they'll feel when you vanish. Trust me, this is something they never saw coming, and it's going to shake them in ways they didn't expect. When you pull away and disappear from their life, it's not just a little blip on their radar, it's a seismic shift. You become the silence they can't ignore, the missing piece that haunts them. The absence they took for granted now pulls at them like a magnet they can't resist. They'll start wondering where you are, what you're doing, and why they didn't realize your value until it was too late. The power shift is undeniable. You've become the mystery, the energy they crave, and the longer you stay away, the stronger that pull becomes. You're no longer chasing. They will be the ones chasing you. So stick with me, and if you found this message helpful, hit the like button and share it with others who need to reclaim their power. Because you're not alone, there are so many others stuck in the same cycle, waiting for that wake-up call. Let's break free together. The emptiness of missing something. After the sting of rejection, The next thing they'll feel is the emptiness of missing something, missing you. They might try to shake off that rejection, convincing themselves they're fine without you, maybe even putting on a brave face. But deep down, something is gnawing at them, something they can't ignore, the void your absence has left behind. They took you for granted, thinking you'd always be there, giving your energy, time, and care. Now, there's a gaping hole where you used to be, and it's slowly eating away at them. This isn't just about losing someone to talk to or spend time with. It's about missing the comfort, stability, and security you brought into their world. Imagine you've been showing up for someone new, making time for them, showing interest. They may have kept you at a distance, not fully engaging, because they always thought you'd be there. But now that you've disappeared, they feel the emptiness you left behind. Each moment of silence, each day without a text or call, weighs heavier than they ever expected. In an old relationship, the feeling is even stronger. You've been there through thick and thin, always present, always holding things together. Maybe they grew complacent, assuming you'd never leave. But now that you're gone, they realize how much of their life was built around you. Every reminder of you, like a song, place, or shared memory, is now a painful reminder of what they've lost. And they can't escape that feeling. They didn't appreciate what they had when it was right in front of them, and now they're left holding on to memories, trying to fill the void. But nothing compares to having you back. The mind craves what it can't have, and the more they try to move on, the more they're drawn back to thoughts of you. No one else matches the connection they had with you, and the emptiness becomes undeniable. During this time, you're not sitting around waiting for them to realize what they've lost. You're focusing on yourself, reclaiming your power, and moving forward. You're not their safety net anymore, and that's why they feel the loss so deeply. Let them feel that emptiness. Let them sit with the full weight of missing you. If you step in too soon, they won't fully appreciate the value of your absence. Here's an affirmation to keep you grounded. I am whole without them. Write it in the comments as a declaration that you don't need their validation. You are enough on your own. And as they sit with their emptiness, remember that you hold the power now. If they come back, it's on your terms. The sting of rejection. When you vanish, what's the first thing they feel? Rejection. Not just any rejection. This one hits deep and lingers long after they notice you're gone. Here's the harsh reality. They never thought it would come to this. They never expected you to walk away because they got too comfortable thinking you'd always be there, waiting for change that wasn't coming. But now, it's their world that's shaken. This rejection stings like a punch they never anticipated. When you disappear, it hits their ego in a way that leaves them questioning everything. Whether it's someone new you were trying to attract or someone from a fading relationship, the sting cuts just as deeply. At first, they might pretend it doesn't bother them, acting indifferent, but inside, it's a different story. That feeling of being left behind, of no longer being in control, slices through them more than they'd admit. Imagine you've been trying to attract someone new, showing interest, putting in effort, making it clear you were available. But they kept you at a distance, maybe entertained your attention, but never fully returned it. You were always the one putting yourself out there, and they knew it. So they got comfortable. They assumed you'd always be there, circling around, waiting for them to make a move. But now, everything changes. You disappear. You stop reaching out, pulling your energy back completely. Suddenly, they feel the weight of your absence. It's a rejection they weren't ready for. They start to wonder what went wrong. Were they too distant? Did they miss their chance? That sting of being left behind gnaws at them, and they start questioning themselves in ways they never did when you were around. Here's the kicker. You're not there to comfort them, to soothe their doubts, or to give explanations. They're left alone to face their own fears, their own insecurities, and it burns. Now shift the scene to an old relationship that's been barely hanging on. Maybe you've been trying to reignite a spark that faded long ago, or maybe you've just been holding on because you didn't want to be the one to walk away. But deep down, you know it's over. They've grown distant, cold, treating your presence like a burden. So what happens when you finally disappear? At first, they might feel relieved, thinking you've just given them space. But as the days pass and you're nowhere to be found, that relief turns into the sting of rejection. Suddenly, they realize they've lost you, and the sting sets in as they recognize you're no longer theirs to take for granted. They may not have valued you when you were there, but now, in your absence, rejection forces them to face what they've lost. There's a quote that fits perfectly here, from Steve Maraboli. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. Whether it's someone new or someone from your past, they took you for granted, forgetting how special you are. Now that you've walked away, the sting of rejection is the consequence of them losing sight of your worth. But this moment isn't about them. It's about you reclaiming your power. You've been afraid to walk away for too long, fearing that if you disappeared, they'd forget about you or replace you. That fear has kept you stuck, giving more than you receive. But now that you've pulled away, you see that fear was just an illusion. You're not running away or giving up. You're simply done trying to prove your worth to someone who should have seen it all along. The sting they feel is a reflection of them realizing you're not theirs to keep. Remind yourself, you're not here to chase, and you're not here to be taken for granted. You are the prize. To keep yourself grounded in this moment of clarity, repeat this affirmation. I am enough as I am, and I will never beg for anyone to see my worth. Let that sink in. You don't need to chase validation from someone who couldn't appreciate you when you were right in front of them. You're not disappearing to manipulate or play games. You've realized you deserve more. If you're ready to step into your power and stop being an option, write, "I'm done begging" in the comments. Declare it. Own it. Let the world know you're not here to chase anyone's approval. You deserve better, and now it's time for them to feel what it's like without you. This is just the first of many things they'll feel. There are 8 more realizations heading their way. Stick with me, because this journey is far from over. Before you disappear, you need to know exactly how it will affect them. Trust me, every step will shift the power dynamic completely. Overwhelming curiosity. After the sting of rejection and the emptiness of missing you, the next feeling that creeps in is overwhelming curiosity. At first, they'll try to ignore it, pretending they don't care. But that curiosity eats away at them silently. They begin to wonder, what are you doing? Who are you spending time with? Why did you pull away? Their mind races with endless questions. Did you find someone else? Are you happier without them? The more they wonder, the more obsessed they become with the thought of you. For someone new, this curiosity stems from confusion. You were once chasing them, giving them your attention, and now you're a ghost. They can't figure out why, and it drives them crazy. Every time they check their phone and see no messages from you, it stings a little deeper. In an old relationship, the curiosity is even more intense. They used to know everything about you, but now they're left in the dark, and that lack of information is unbearable. They wonder who's filling the space you left behind. During this time, you're living your life, embracing the space you've created. You're no longer tied to their expectations, and that mystery is what drives them crazy. The more mysterious you become, the stronger their curiosity grows. Here's an affirmation to keep you grounded. I am the mystery they can't solve. Write it in the comments and seal it for good. You're not their open book anymore. You've become the puzzle they can't figure out, and that's something they can't resist. Deep self-reflection. After their curiosity about your disappearance consumes them, something deeper begins to emerge. Self-reflection. When you're no longer in their life, it forces them to look inward, making them question themselves in ways they never did before. Initially, they might have brushed off your absence, but as time passes and they sit with the emptiness, their thoughts turn inward. They begin asking themselves, did I push them away? Was I too distant? These doubts haunt them, creating a storm of regret. They replay moments between you, analyzing where they could have acted differently, where they should have given more attention or respect. For someone new, this reflection is unsettling. They didn't realize how much they had overlooked you or how little they valued your attempts to connect. Now that you're gone, they wonder if they missed their chance. Was I too cold? Did I ignore someone special? This self-reflection is uncomfortable but necessary as they start to realize their lack of effort was the reason for your distance. In a long-term relationship, this reflection cuts even deeper. They start to question why they allowed the relationship to grow cold. They think about when you tried to revive the connection, and now, in your absence, they understand how much they took for granted. Every memory becomes a reminder of the ways they failed to show up. But this isn't about pity. It's about confronting their actions. They can't blame you for walking away anymore because it's clear their behavior caused it. They begin to see the flaws in their character. It's not just about losing you. It's about facing the person they've become and how they let the relationship slip. During this time, you continue focusing on yourself, staying strong. Their self-reflection is their journey, not yours. You've already made the effort to pull away and reclaim your power. Now it's up to them to decide if they're willing to change and make amends. The battle between relief and regret. As the urge to pursue you grows, they find themselves torn between two powerful emotions, relief and regret. When you first disappeared from their life, they might have felt a sense of relief. Maybe they thought, finally, some space. They might have convinced themselves that your absence was what they needed to move on or regain their independence. But that relief doesn't last. Regret soon creeps in. At first, it's subtle thoughts like, maybe I should have tried harder, or maybe I was too distant. Over time, those thoughts multiply, and soon, regret outweighs any relief they once felt. For someone new, this regret feels like missing out on something special. Initially, they might have enjoyed the space, feeling relieved that they didn't have to deal with your attention. But now, they wonder what could have happened if they'd given you a real chance. They regret not investing in you when they had the opportunity. In a long-term relationship, the regret runs deeper. They may have felt free when you pulled away, but as the days go by, that emptiness grows. Memories flood back, and they realize how much they took for granted. The relief they felt at first is quickly replaced by regret for letting someone who truly cared slip away. This battle between relief and regret isn't just an emotional struggle, it's a wake-up call. They realize that what they thought was freedom was just the absence of something meaningful. Now, they're left with the heavy burden of knowing they didn't appreciate you when they had the chance. The urge to pursue you. After they've spent time reflecting on their actions, a strong urge to pursue you takes over. This is the moment when the tables turn. The person who once felt in control now feels the pull to chase what they lost. And this isn't just a passing feeling. It becomes a deep need to reconnect with you and fix what's been broken. At first, they may have thought they didn't need you, convincing themselves they'd be fine without you in their life. But now, after experiencing rejection, missing your presence, and realizing their mistakes, the emptiness they feel ignites a strong desire to pursue you. For someone new, they start realizing they may have lost something special. They think back to how you were always there, showing interest and making an effort, and now that's gone. They might start liking your posts, sending you random messages to test the waters, or asking mutual friends about you. Each step is an attempt to pull you back in. In a long-term relationship, this urge is even stronger. They remember all the times you tried to make things work, the energy you put into keeping the relationship alive. Now, they want it back. They want you back. They become determined to pursue you, making it their goal to win you over again. The irony is, while they once felt certain that you'd always be there, now they're the ones chasing you. The more they feel your absence, the stronger their urge grows to reach out and fix things. But here's where you hold the power. You've already pulled away, and now you get to decide if their pursuit is worth your time. This isn't about playing games. It's about standing in your own value and knowing that you no longer need to chase anyone. If they come back, it's on your terms, not theirs. The desire to play the game. As regret begins to take hold, something else stirs within them, the urge to play the game. It's their desperate attempt to regain control, to test the waters and see if they can manipulate the situation and win you back. Instead of confronting their emotions, they resort to tactics, hoping to reel you in without ever admitting their mistakes. But here's the catch. They've already lost the upper hand. They'll act indifferent, perhaps even distant, thinking that mirroring your behavior will spark your interest again. It's a classic move, pretending they don't care in the hopes you'll come running back. They may start posting on social media, showing off an exciting life that seems full without you, trying to make you jealous in subtle ways. They might even flirt with others right in front of you, thinking it will get under your skin. But here's where their plan backfires. You're not playing anymore. You've stepped back, reclaimed your power, and are no longer chasing them. Their desire to play games only reveals their insecurity, because while they're busy trying to provoke a reaction, you've already moved on. You see their behavior for what it truly is, a desperate attempt to regain control over a situation they no longer have the strength to handle. For someone new, this might seem like a test. They'll act unaffected by your absence, hoping you'll be the one to break the silence. But as they try to play it cool, their confidence cracks begin to show. Each day that goes by without a word from you only deepens their frustration. In an older relationship, the games can get even trickier. They might start sending mixed signals, going hot and cold, to see if you'll respond. But this time, you're not falling for it. Their last-ditch effort to regain the control they once had doesn't work anymore. You've outgrown the need for validation through their mind games. The crushing weight of silence. After all the games, after the back and forth, they're left with something they didn't expect. The crushing weight of silence. Silence can be louder than words, and your absence? It's deafening. At first, they thought they could handle it, that they could wait you out. But now the quiet is starting to break them down. No more excuses, no more distractions, just silence, and it's suffocating. They begin to feel the heavy void your presence once filled. Each moment without a text, call, or even a casual encounter is a reminder of what they've lost. The silence forces them to sit with their thoughts, and the lack of communication becomes an undeniable testament to the growing distance between you. It's not just the absence of your voice that haunts them. It's the absence of the connection you once shared. Each day without hearing from you feels heavier than the last. For someone new, this silence is unbearable. They're used to you being the one to keep things moving forward, the one who puts in the effort. But now that you've pulled back, they're left alone with their thoughts. The silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their indecision and lack of effort, and they can't escape it. In an older relationship, the weight of silence is even more profound. They're accustomed to the familiar rhythms of your relationship, the late-night talks, the plans you made together, even the arguments that once filled the space. Now, there's nothing. The quiet forces them to confront the reality of life without you, and it's not something they can easily shake off. They stew in their regret, haunted by unspoken words, missed chances, and the moments they took you for granted. The crushing weight of silence is a powerful reminder. You're no longer there to fill the void. The longer it stretches, the more unbearable it becomes for them. The fear that brings them crawling back. After the crushing weight of silence, something inevitable happens. Fear takes over. It's the fear that you've moved on, that they've lost you for good. And it's this fear that brings them crawling back. Now it's no longer about pride or games or ego, it's about survival. They can't stand the thought of life without you, and the realization that they may have missed their chance hits them hard. The fear of losing you forever is paralyzing. It consumes their thoughts day and night. They begin to wonder if someone else has taken their place, if you found happiness and fulfillment elsewhere. This fear gnaws at them, creating a deep anxiety and regret that pushes them into action. The idea of you being gone forever shakes them to their core, and suddenly, nothing else matters but getting you back. For someone new, this fear comes from underestimating you. They thought they could take their time, that you'd always be an option. But now the silence has stretched too long, and the fear that someone else may have caught your attention makes them desperate. They'll start reaching out, sending messages, even showing up unexpectedly, trying to win you back because the thought of losing you is unbearable. In an old relationship, the fear is even more profound. They thought they knew you well, thought they could predict your moves. But now, faced with the reality of your absence, they panic. They realize that all the times they pushed you away, all the moments they took you for granted, have led to this. Your silence, your independence. It terrifies them. They'll do anything to make things right, even if it means swallowing their pride and coming to you on their knees. But here's the most important part. When they come crawling back, it's on your terms. You're no longer the one seeking validation or attention. You've reclaimed your power, and now they're the ones desperate to be in your life. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message. Your strength is in your ability to walk away and let them truly feel your absence. Remember, you are the prize. Stay strong, stay grounded, and always know your worth. They'll come back crawling, but only if you allow it. Until next time, stay stoic.